NVIDIA's Jetson board. So here are the acronyms. So why need to worry about deep learning on embedded systems? So till now, see, we have seen deep learning on FPGA, deep learning on TPU, to some degree deep learning on GPU, deep learning on smartphones, deep learning on that wafer scale engine. So these are all computing systems of different size and shape and power consumption and scale. Right? So smartphone deep learning is important. We all know because smartphone is so very close to everybody. Right? Even layman is using it. Now embedded system, many hobbyists use it. Many for example, if you want to deep learning in a real life application, then embedded system is the only choice, right? Because although your data center GPU may give you good performance, but the power consumption they have is very huge. So you can't deploy them. For example, you want to do some deep learning on traffic data. So you want your system to be right there, right? Your computing engine to be there in the traffic pole itself. So that now it has to be very lightweight. It should ideally run on the solar power. So now you can't use a GPU which is a power consumption of 200 watts, can't run on solar power. Okay, so these are some of the thoughts. So embedded systems allow processing the data at the site where it is collected, such as IoT device. So now again, IoT device is a very broad topic. I mean, a broad range of IoT devices are there. So we have already discussed there is a lot of advantages of local processing. I'm going to skip it, but security and privacy are very important advantages. And here, your accelerator also has to be lightweight. I think I've already discussed this slide in the introduction of this course, so I'm skipping it. Okay, so now I will come to Jetson. Okay, so NVIDIA Jetson is one of the most popular embedded system. Now it has had multiple versions. So first one was TK1, then TX1, then TX2. Then there is also Xavier, and I'm not sure after Xavier there was any further board. So let us see the parameters, and we are comparing it with other popular board, which is Raspberry Pi, which is one of the most popular board because it's so very cheap and it's easy to use because it just is based on CPU. And there is this Intel UP which did not get very popular. Now I think it's they may have stopped it. So here it is Kepler GPU. This is Maxwell. This is Pascal. Now here in Raspberry Pi, although there is so-called GPU, but GPU is not very strong here. Okay, Raspberry Pi is mostly a CPU. So here, mostly it is a CPU. That means the processing is done on the CPU. Okay, here, so another thing about Jetson is that it has both CPU and GPU. Because you know, right, GPU can't work alone. You always need to have a CPU. So it also has a CPU. So 4+1 quad-core Cortex A15 CPU with Cortex A5 battery cell shadow core. So this +1 refers to the shadow core. So somewhat like that heterogeneous AMP idea, right? We discussed. There are big cores and little cores. So this is something like that. So 4 big cores and 1 little core, but still Cortex A5 only, which is a slightly optimized for battery saving. Now here again, this is Cortex A57 quad core. Here at Cortex A57 quad core plus NVIDIA Denver 2. So NVIDIA Denver 2 is another CPU from NVIDIA. And here it is a ARM Cortex A53. So one thing you can see, all the CPUs are all ARM based. It's not x86 based. So any reasons why it's not x86 based? Can you guess why not x86 based CPU? Anupam? Ashish?
Sorry, sir, I didn't get, sir. What did you ask, sir?
So see, why were you using ARM CPUs here? Why not x86 CPUs?
So ARM is that soft core CPU, sir. We can program and then reprogram it, sir. That's why it's
CPU is all about programming and reprogramming. Like CPU is very
power consumption. The power consumption, so basically they require less power consumption. Like that may be one of the reasons.
Yeah, that is the main reason. Yeah. So all these mobile systems, right? I will try to get you some data actually. How many ARM processors are shipped and how many x86 processors are shipped? I have the data somewhere. So number of ARM processors is maybe 1,000 times more than what x86 processors are selling. Okay, so it's very popular. I mean, most of the mobile devices are all ARM based. And now this, of course, the RISC-V is coming. So maybe that may be a competitor to ARM. Okay, so now it has DDR3 memory, low power. This is LPDDR. So we have already discussed different variants of LPDDR. Let us ask Ashish, please tell me what are the different DRAM variants we have discussed till now. You remember? Ashish, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember which are the different variants of DRAM we have discussed? Okay. Anyone else remembers? Yes, please. Yes, Gaurav.
SDRAM.
Sorry.
SDRAM. SDRAM.
SDRAM.
Sir, DRAM, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, DRAM, SRAM, SDRAM.
No, that's not what I'm asking.
So DDR3 and DDR4 we have discussed.
Okay, DDR3, DDR4. Okay, that is one. Then what?
So
That is using conventional CPUs. Yeah. Okay, then there is, okay, let me tell you. So then there is graphics data rate, GDDR. Okay, GDDR5, GDDR6. Then we have HBM, high bandwidth memory. So if you see the TPU version 2 and 3, they use HBM. And then we have LPDDR, low power DDR. Okay, so low power LPDDR means low power. So here we have LPDDR. So now you can assume why we are using LPDDR, because of our power budget. So this is the first thing you have to see. So here it is 10 watt, here it is 15 watt, here it is 15 watt. And I think Xavier is also between 15 watt to 30 watt. Here it is only around 5 watts, here it is 6 watts. So because you have such a tight power constraint, you need to use LPDDR, low power DDR. Okay. And do you remember any other system where we saw LPDDR in our course before? Which accelerator was that? Have we discussed that? No. We don't think we discussed it. We will discuss it. I think in mobile systems, I think smartphones we have discussed LPDDR. So yeah, so wherever, sorry.
Yes, sir. In mobile phone we have discussed.
Yeah, mobile phone we use LPDDR. Yeah, we showed you that SoC diagram where we have CPU, GPU, maybe and DSP, and the memory there is LPDDR. So why? Because mobile phones need to use very low motor power consumption. So all these factors as an architect you can try to always see. Okay, and here the memory capacity is 2 GB, here 4 GB, here 8 GB. Okay. Here, of course, Raspberry Pi is very small, so here it is only 1 GB. So Raspberry Pi is much weaker compared to Jetson. Jetson is for very good Jetson. Although power budget is not much different, but I will probably show you. Yeah, peak performance. Here you can see. So here it is SP single precision, more than 300 watts. Here it is 300 gigaflops. Here it is 512 gigaflops. Here it is 665, and here it is only 6 gigaflops. Although double precision, but 6. So 6 versus 600, almost an order of magnitude. I mean, 2 orders of magnitude. Okay, so this is the whole point. So these are the factors you need to always observe. I mean, how much is the power? What is the range? First thing you can see what is the power budget range. Then what is, of course, cost is always definitely very important. Weight may not be always important, but here why weight is being considered, especially you can see because you will not use it, like statically. You will not put it somewhere. You will probably have it in a robot or maybe mounted on a traffic post. So their weight is important, or you will carry it on the drone. So as I already showed you, drone's weight is very important. So for this lightweight accelerator, weight becomes important. So here you can see weight is just 50 grams. Here it is not, of course, here it is 85, but I personally think it's much more than 85. This is probably just the core part. Maybe there may be accessories and other things which increase its weight. Now there is one more table here. So anybody knows what is MovieDS? Have you heard about it? MovieDS. Okay, so Movidius is a accelerator from Intel, and that is just a USB factor. It doesn't even require a separate power supply or any battery. You just plug it into your USB slot and it will work. So now you can just expect, because it is taking power from a USB slot, it can't take much power. So here power budget is just 1 watt. And within 1 watt, how much work can you do? You can't do much. That's why its flops is very small, just 2 teraflops of FP16. Here it is 1.5 teraflops of FP32. But I personally think, this Movidius can't match the performance of TX2. And here we have GTX Titan X. Here we have, its own VPU. I'm not discussing Movidius in this course, but here we are going to discuss this. So we already know what is CUDA cores. And here it is 3000 CUDA cores. Here it is scale number, 256. Here it is 8 GB of memory. Here it is 12 GB of memory. Here it is GDDR5. Here it is LPDDR. So this is a high-end GPU. This is a mobile GPU or embedded GPU. Here bandwidth is very high. Here, right, 336. Here bandwidth is somewhat middle range, and here bandwidth is very, very low, right? Just 4 gigabits per second. That means half a gigabyte per second. So with half a gigabyte, how much deep learning can you do? You can't do much. All right. And here the power budget is also very, very high, 250 watts. So here it's just 15 watt, and here it is 1 watt. Okay. Now one more table. Here we are comparing Jetson TX1 with DSP RISC-V FPGA. So here it is TX1. We have already seen this. Now here DSP. This is DSP from TI. Okay, and we have also seen DSP from Qualcomm in mobile phones. Here the DSP is from Texas Instruments. So here it is, C66 DSP 8 core, 1.4 gigahertz. This much L1 cache, this much L2 cache. System power is this much. Bare metal. Doesn't require OS. This is the compiler. This is the cost. And here, this is a parallel that uses RISC-V, their own version of RISC-V. It is quite cheap. These are like startups. Okay, it is ARM 367, and then this is Xilinx FPGA. So what you can, I think they don't have a peak performance. Otherwise, you could have easily compared peak performance. So power, you can see the power budget is comparable, right? Power budget is not much different. Price, this is quite costly, but FPGA can do a lot. So it has, here it has CPU plus FPGA. More than that, we can't compare. They should have provided some data on peak performance, then we could have easily compared. Yeah, here is the comparison of embedded system with HPC systems. So here it is IoT device or edge device, Raspberry Pi. Here it is GPU-based edge devices, the Jetson TX2 and Jetson Nano. Anybody has heard of Jetson Nano? Have you heard of Edge TPU? So, Anubha, you have not heard of these boards?
Yes, sir, I have heard.
So, what is Edge TPU?
Tensor processing unit.
But what that TPU is tensor processing unit, but what is Edge TPU? What is the meaning of Edge TPU? See, we discussed version 1, version 2, version 3. I never discussed Edge TPU. So can you guess
So
what is
everything is happening on it is not happening on cloud or within a device only. It is the edge device.
Yeah. So for example, like if you see TPUs, Google has not released TPUs, but Edge TPU is maybe a smaller version of TPU, which probably is like in this much size, right? A square of this much, which I can hold in my hand, and you can purchase it, and it is used for edge purposes. Right? That means within a small form factor. So here you can see it has some amount of CPU, which is just the host, and then it has accelerator Edge TPU, which is probably a scaled down version of TPU. It has this much idle power, this much average power, and this is the TF Lite. So there is a TensorFlow, the normal TensorFlow, and there is a light version of TensorFlow, which is for edge devices. So that is TF Lite. And here is the average power, idle power. This is the LPDDR4, and you can go through it to get more idea. Now here it is. All of them are using LPDDR. Here this FPGA. This is not exactly now. Here on it's not. I mean from here onwards, this is not for edge devices. These are all for HPC. So here you can see very high power consumption. Here it is FPGA, CPU, and different GPUs. And MoviDS is neural computing system. NCS is neural computing system. It uses VPU, and it doesn't have CPU. So these are the comparison of the devices.